In the small town of Adams, Tennessee, there's a limestone cave that draws visitors from all over the country. Today it's known as Bell Witch Cave. Some people come looking for history. Others come hoping to experience something they can't explain. The cave is very much real, and so is the Bell family's old property nearby. But the strange reputation attached to this place didn't begin with the cave. It began with a family more than 200 years ago. In 1804, John Bell moved from North Carolina to what was then Robertson County, Tennessee. He settled with his wife Lucy and their children on farmland near the Red River. By all accounts, they built a successful farm and lived ordinary lives. For more than a decade, nothing unusual was recorded about the family. Then, according to later accounts, something changed around 1817. The first reports were small enough to dismiss. Family members claimed they saw unusual animals near the property. At night, they heard knocking on the walls, scratching sounds, and noises that seemed to move through the house. Bed covers were reportedly pulled away while people slept. Doors rattled. Footsteps echoed through empty rooms. A strange sound in an old house isn't unusual by itself. But the Bell family believed these incidents kept happening, and instead of fading away, they became harder to ignore. Before long, the reported disturbances centred on two people in particular, John Bell himself and his youngest daughter Betsy. According to the family story, Betsy was pinched, slapped and scratched by an unseen force. She said she was awakened during the night and sometimes found her hair being pulled. John Bell, meanwhile, began suffering from unexplained health problems. He experienced weakness, swelling, and difficulty speaking. Whether these illnesses had ordinary medical causes or not, they became deeply connected to the growing mystery. Rather than keeping everything secret, the Bells reportedly invited neighbours into their home. They wanted other people to witness whatever was happening. That decision changed everything. Visitors claimed they also heard strange sounds. Some believed they heard whispers that slowly became recognisable words. As more people visited the farm, stories spread throughout the surrounding communities. What had started as a family's private problem became local news. According to the legend, the unseen presence eventually developed a clear voice. It answered questions. It repeated Bible passages. It sang hymns. It laughed. It insulted members of the household. It even carried on conversations with visitors. The voice eventually became known as Kate. Many later versions connected the name to a local woman named Kate Batts, who had reportedly argued with John Bell over a land deal. Whether that connection existed from the beginning or was added later isn't entirely clear. But from that point on, the mysterious presence was no longer just a strange noise. It had a name and, at least in the stories, a personality. The voice seemed especially interested in Betsy's personal life. At the time, Betsy Bell was engaged to a young man named Joshua Gardner. According to the traditional account, the unseen voice repeatedly criticised him and demanded that the engagement end. Eventually, Betsy broke off the relationship in 1821. No one can say why she made that decision. Family pressure, personal feelings, or something else entirely could have played a role. But in the legend, the mysterious voice claimed the credits. As word spread, the story grew larger. One of its most famous episodes claims that General Andrew Jackson visited the Bell farm to investigate the strange events himself. Later versions describe unexplained trouble affecting his group before Jackson supposedly decided he had seen enough. It's a memorable story, but historians have never found reliable contemporary evidence confirming that visit. Jackson certainly knew the region, but the famous encounter belongs to the realm of folklore rather than established history. There is, however, one early piece of evidence showing that stories about the Bell family were already circulating during John's lifetime. In 1820, a traveller named Captain John R. Bell kept a journal while passing through the area. In it, he mentioned hearing about a young woman in Robertson County who was accompanied by a mysterious voice and had attracted many curious visitors. The journal doesn't prove the supernatural claims, but it does show that people were already talking about the Bell family's strange reputation before the story had decades to grow through retelling. By late 1820, John Bell's health had become much worse. He died on December 20th of that year. His death is a confirmed historical fact. What happened around it is far less certain. Later accounts describe a mysterious vial found near his bed. The stories claim someone tested its contents on a cat, which quickly died, and that the unseen voice announced it had poisoned John Bell. There is no surviving medical evidence confirming that story, and no investigation from the time establishes poisoning as the cause of death. Still, this dramatic moment became one of the central pieces of the Bell Witch legend. According to the traditional account, the disturbances became much quieter after John's death. The voice reportedly announced that it was leaving and promised to return 7 years later. Stories claim it briefly did so in 1828, before disappearing once again. Whether any of those events truly happened is impossible to determine now. One reason is that most of the familiar details weren't written down immediately. The earliest surviving newspaper accounts appeared in 1856, more than 3 decades after John Bell died. The first full-length version of the story wasn't published until 1894 by author Martin V. Ingram. He said he relied on family records and local testimony, but many of the original documents he referenced can no longer be independently examined. That gap doesn't mean the story was invented. We know the Bell family was real. We know John Bell lived and died there. We know in 1820 journal records rumours of a mysterious voice attracting visitors. But many of the details people know today come from memories, oral tradition, and books written long after the reported events. Over the years, people have suggested many explanations. Some believe the entire story was created through practical jokes or deliberate deception. Others think illness, family conflict, religious beliefs, or ordinary events slowly became exaggerated as neighbours repeated them from one generation to the next. None of these theories explains every part of the legend, partly because so much of the evidence has been lost. The cave itself entered the story much later. Today it's one of the best-known parts of the Bell Witch legend. Modern stories claim the mysterious presence retreated into the cave or performed strange acts there. But those tales don't appear in the earliest surviving versions of the Bell family story. As the legend grew through the 19th and 20th centuries, the cave gradually became one of its most recognisable symbols. Today, visitors can tour the cave and walk the land connected to the Bell family. Some leave with nothing more than photographs and memories. Others believe they experienced something unusual. Those experiences remain personal, impossible to prove or disprove. More than 2 centuries have passed since John Bell settled his farm in Tennessee. The people were real, the property was real, the cave is real. Beyond that, the line between history and folklore becomes much harder to see. And perhaps that's the reason the Bell Witch story has endured for so long. Not because it offers clear answers, but because it leaves just enough unanswered for every new generation to wonder what, if anything, really happened on that quiet Tennessee farm.